Have you ever heard the rule that body language is 93% of communication? Chances are, if you've done any reading at all about communication or public speaking, you've stumbled across this very interesting but unfortunately misquoted stat. If you think about it, there is no way you could watch a speaker or a movie with no audio and understand 93% of his message. However, there is a little bit of truth to this myth, and in this video, we're going to explain. Body language is a funny and complicated thing. Most people aren't actually aware of how it affects the audience's impression of us. To make it easier, we've come up with an equation to help us explain it. Body language is made up of posture, gestures, eye contact, and spatial awareness. Now, that first part of the equation, posture. It's used to non-verbally communicate self-assurance and poise. Physiologically, good posture allows for the better expansion of your diaphragm, creating a vacuum to maximize airflow in your lungs. This allows you to communicate with your verbal message more clearly. Psychologically, social scientist Amy Cuddy determined that expansive or open postures correlate to an increased feeling of power. In other words, when you stand more openly, you become more confident, more assertive, and more optimistic. Cuddy's research on expansive posture as a professor at Harvard Business School tells us that when we remain in high power positions, like the ones you're seeing on screen, for as little as 2 minutes before stressful situations like a speech, we feel more powerful in the moment. You can imagine that a string is run from your hips to your head, and that string is taut, holding you upright, yet in a relaxed position. This means that when you're going into a high stress situation, you need to focus on your posture. Practice high power poses before your speeches and throughout, and make sure you're conscious of whether your posture is open to the audience. You can increase your confidence and make your audience much more receptive to your message. So let's head back to our original equation. The second part of body language is gestures. Now, I want you to do a quick exercise with me. Stretch your hands up in the air. Now, tilt your head up to the sky and drop them. Notice where your hands landed, but don't look down. Continue standing in this position with your head level, and this position is what I like to call gesture neutral. And it's the starting and ending point of every gesture. Humans have a survival instinct that responds to stress. When we get nervous, we cover our vital organs, crossing off our bodies. When we react this way, our audience will instinctively recognize your nerves. You want to keep your body open in a posture like gesture neutral, and then gesture from there. Think about these moments as transitions from one powerful and impactful image to the next. These powerful images you're creating with your body should highlight the emotion or dynamic of the movement and what you're saying. For example, if you wanted to indicate progression, you might move your hand in an upwards motion from gesture neutral, or stack your hands one on top of the other. Gesturing to enhance the message of your speech and moving from gesture neutral should be practiced before and during your speech. It may feel a bit off at first, but when you want all of the attention centered on you, gesture neutral prevents any distractions from taking away your spotlight. So let's get back to that myth that 93% of communication is nonverbal. The study actually shows that the majority of assumptions we make about somebody's underlying emotions, motives, and feelings are drawn from body language. That means when somebody first interacts with you as an audience member, the second you walk on stage, they've already decided whether they like you or not. Using body language to make yourself more likable will help you as a speaker and in your everyday life. Tweaking small things like your posture and where you place your hands when you speak requires practice, but it'll help you drive home the content of what you're saying. Ultimately, it's like this unconscious superpower that's going to make you more confident and your audiences more receptive.